The final effect we're going to cover on this DVD is a really nice audience participation effect in which they try and discover who the real face of Jack the Ripper was. Now it combines 3 self-working effects which use the audience all the way through. You're just there to just guide them through. Starts off with a version of Ripper Force, which for those who bought From Hell version 3 will have got as a free effect, which uses the cards in order to force the Mary Jane Kelly card. This version actually uses a map of Whitechapel and lodging houses where prostitutes were known to stay during the evening in Victorian London. You also get 5 real Victorian pennies. These pennies are given to the 5 volunteers, preferably female, to spend at a lodging house of their choice. Of course their choice is the Force, but they don't know that. You also get with that 12 photographs taken by the Met Police of various suspects from around the time of Jack the Ripper. Now these cards all go into the envelopes, 1 in each envelope, and I'll show you how we do that in a moment. Once we've done that, we then go on to the patio force, so pick any 2, eliminate 1. We have 7 Jack the Ripper suspects and 7 envelopes. Each photograph goes into an envelope. The story goes that a few days after the Mary Jane Kelly murder, the police conducted a series of raids on known Ripper suspects. Now there were 7 raids scheduled for that day. They arrested 6 people, 1 of them got away. Now that person who gets away will obviously be Jack the Ripper. Finally, to tie in the results of the Ripper Force and also the Ripper Patio Force, in the end of this Victorian key is an extract from Inspector Abberline's diary, which gives details of who he thought Jack the Ripper was, who a possible accomplice who was working with him in it to enable him to get to and from the scenes of the murder so quickly. And also it gives the location of a lodging house where all of the victims stopped the night previous to their murder, and all of that comes together in the end with this revelation. Now this key can be given to a member of the audience, worn around their neck, so it's in their possession at all times. So, okay, first of all we're going to look at the Ripper Force. The setup for Ripper Force is very easy. You just need to put 1 of the 12 photographs into each of the envelopes. It's just important that picture number 4, who is known in Abberline's conclusion as James Partridge, goes into the Charlotte Street lodging house. So put his photograph inside that envelope, and all the other envelopes contain 1 of the other 12. And to lay out the grid is very simple. If you get these envelopes in the wrong order, it's quite difficult to actually put them. It's like a jigsaw puzzle of lining the streets up. So I've conveniently numbered each envelope in the bottom left hand corner for you. So number 1, and all you need to do is place them in the following grid. You can either do this as you're talking to your audience, taking them through the story of how Victorian prostitutes lived and what a terrible life they had, etc., blah blah blah. And then what you have is a map of Whitechapel, which contains, it's pretty similar to the map that's inside the box lid, contains all the murder locations, but it's not the murder locations we're interested in at the moment, it's the actual lodging houses. Okay, so we have the Force grid like so. If I straighten that up so you can see it properly. Now you ask for 5 volunteers to step forward, and you have the 5 coins, preferably 5 females. You give them all a coin each. Now this coin represents their payment for the lodging house for one evening. Now with the original Ripper Force, which is also used in a lot of other